a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney tops, that's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, why then, oh why can't I? Welcome to Level 38, a video game podcast. I am your host, Will Wood, alongside me with Sean McCann. This is my ukulele that I just kind of shittily played for you all because last episode, in episode 3, we had our first bet on the show. That episode title was Wager the Necrodancer, where I wagered with Sean that Crypt of the Necrodancer would be one of the free PlayStation Plus games for February 2016. Well, we now know what those games are, and I was wrong, so I lost, and in so losing, I had to sing a song, and so Sean said, sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow on your little ukulele, and so I said, okay, fine. Sean, how do you feel about this?
Felt pretty good. I didn't think I was going to win, but, I was really hopeful about it, and then I won, and, that made me feel good. But I sent you some other songs, but they didn't really work out because you're feeling a little under the weather today, but that's fine. We worked it out. He had a ukulele. He all of a sudden gained 300 pounds and heart problems, but, we figured it out in the end, and, that's all that matters. And, after that, we just figured it out.
Thank you, Sean. Yes, I am a little under the weather today, so this episode is going to be a little bit shorter than usual. I can't hear anything out of my right ear, which is really pissing me off. You're fine, but I don't really care. So, yes, episode 4 of the Level 38 podcast. If I haven't mentioned already, which I don't think that I did, you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow Sean at SmashBite. You can follow myself at Will J. Wood, and you can follow the podcast at Level 38 Podcast. If you are watching the video, you will see those on the bottom of the screen throughout the duration. If you are listening on iTunes or any other audio service, well, it's there. You'll figure it out. All right, Sean, we're going to jump right into the news today. We don't have anything really to talk about beforehand other than how we're doing. Of course, I'm not feeling well. How are you feeling?
Feeling great. I was sick for, a few episodes we were sick, but I was sick especially, but I've gotten better. Got a little cough. But, it's nothing really we can't work out. Brought one of my favorite games with me here today on the show. Got One Piece Pirate Warriors 3. Just pretty excited. It's my favorite game of the year of 2015. Got a little soft spot for it. Can't wait to play it. So, yeah.
All right, cool. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the news now. This is going to be a little bit shorter episode, so we're going to kind of rapid fire the news off a little bit. We'll discuss whatever we feel like discussing there within. But let's start things off, as the show started off with me losing the bet. Let's talk about the PlayStation Plus free games for February 2016. As the time of listening to this, these games are imminent, Sean. They are coming right away. In fact, if you're listening to this, they may already be out. Who knows? All right, Sean, here are the free PlayStation Plus titles for February 2016. On PlayStation 4, you can get yourself Helldivers, Democracy Strikes Back. Also cross-buy for PS3 and PS Vita. On PlayStation 4, you get yourself Nom Nom Galaxy.
Delicious.
Yes, which is, it's made by those Pixel Junk. It's a Pixel Junk game. I like them Pixel Junk games. Pretty good. Got a platinum trophy on there. I played Helldivers. I did not care for it all too much, but I can give it more of a chance. But I already paid for it, so it's not a big deal for me. On PS3, you get Grid Autosport, and you get Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, which is pretty cool. We talked about that earlier in one of the earlier episodes, I believe, as well. On PlayStation Vita, you get Lemmings Touch, and you get Nova 111. Nova 111 is also available on PS4. So there you go. Those are your titles. Another kind of lackluster month, but not as bad as January, in my opinion. But really, Crypt of the Necrodancer, I wanted to see that on there. I really think it should have been on there. What are your thoughts on these games?
I'm really excited for Helldivers. I mentioned to a lot of friends that we should play, and It looks really fun. I haven't played it yet. It's kind of got that bird's eye view, top down feel. I really like it. Crypto Neck Dancer, I'm gonna have to probably wait until it is free, because I don't know, I'm just that kind of person. Super stoked on a lot of games by Pixel Junk. They make a lot of really good games. But I'm really more excited for Helldivers and Persona 4 Ultimax. Never got around to playing it. Seems fun. Getting fool around with it a bit until the next Blaze Blue or Guilty Gear comes out.
Ah, yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm gonna get Crypto Necrodancer anyway because I played the Japanese demo of it and the game's just fucking fantastic. That's like my new big game that I can see myself sinking tons of time into. So that will definitely be something that I will be picking up. Speaking of that, let's just move right into the drop for PlayStation. Of course, as you know, we are more PlayStation centric on this podcast really than anything else, followed by Nintendo in second place, I'd say probably. So, of course, the drop comes from PlayStation Blog. Ryan Clements always puts up the Sunday, usually, which tonight is Sunday. We're recording this episode very late. Still hope to have it up on Monday. Just goes over the new games that are coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita for the Tuesday, which, of course, February 2nd, which is also the date that you will get those aforementioned PlayStation Plus games. But let's jump right into the new releases for this Tuesday, Sean, and they are as follows. On PS4 Digital, AIPD, enter the AI arena and fight evil artificial intelligence with a variety of weapons and modifications. AIPD is a top-down co-op twin-stick shooter. Enjoy thousands of possible combinations of enemy and arena permutations that give you an unprecedented and nearly unlimited arcade experience. Also on PS4 Digital, Albedo Eyes from Outer Space. Albedo Eyes from Outer Space is a brain-racking sci-fi puzzle adventure with first-person elements, a wonderfully rich 60s sci-fi style, and a unique approach to storytelling delivers mystery and amazement. Amazing Discoveries in Outer Space, also PS4 digitally, and Odyssey Through the Galaxy, where physics-based spaceflight and platforming action blend seamlessly together. Explore a colorful universe filled with amazing discoveries, alien races, and fashionable hats. Weird. Unfortunately, your only company is Zing, a navigational computer with no memory of your whereabouts and a slightly faulty social circuit. Crypt of the Necrodancer, one of the ones I'm very excited for. This is coming to PS4 and PlayStation Vita Digital cross-buy. Crypt of the Necrodancer is an award-winning, hardcore, roguelike rhythm game. Move to the music and deliver beatdowns to the beat. That's not a very descriptive description of that game, but I've played it and it's fucking awesome, and I think y'all should too. It's an indie darling hit on that over there on that PC box. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, I know this is one you're interested in. PS4, PS Vita, digital, and PS4 version at retail. Celebrating its 15th anniversary, the Digimon franchise makes its faithful return to PlayStation in true RPG form in Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Scan, raise, and train your faithful Digimon companions to battle by your side in classic turn-based battles. It sounds like a good old-school RPG time. Yep. Gravity Rush Remastered. This is a big one, too. I'm very excited for. I have the Platinum on Vita. Plan to be... this will be, along with Crypto Necrodancer, 2 big games that I'll be streaming on the Twitch channel this month. Gain a new perspective. No, I didn't say it, so you can't do it. It's only if I say twitch.tv/WillJWood. Now you can do it. Gain a new perspective as Kat, a strong-willed girl trying to protect her future in a world that's crumbling to pieces. With incredible gravity-altering abilities, Kat is the only one who can salvage the floating city of Hexaville, if only she could remember who she is. Lego Marvel's Avengers, the demo for PS4 and PS3, coming out on February 3rd. This is weird. The game's already been out, but this is the demo for it. I'm not going to bother describing that. You know what it is. It's a Lego game full of Avengers, Marvel people. Letter Quest Remastered, PS Vita Digital. Ever wonder what would happen if you cross Scrabble with an RPG? No, I don't think anybody has. But now you don't have to, Sean, because Letter Quest is here. Well, on February 2nd anyway. You don't want it? Help Grim and Rose, a couple of adorable Grim Reapers, defeat monsters, ghosts, evil bunnies, and more using the power of words. It sounds like a democracy game. Mega Dimension Neptunia 7. Neptune's Adventure. This is out PS4 digital and retail. Neptune's Adventure is now going out of this world and entering the world of Platform Zero. Game industry has entered a precarious season known as the CPU shift period. During this time of social unrest, deprecating rumors about the CPUs have begun to saturate game industry. Neptune and the others worried the citizens will soon call for new leaders to replace them and that their rule will end. Nitro Plus Blasters Heroines Infinite Duel on PS4 digital and retail. The greatest heroines of the Nitro Plus visual novel come together in a battle royale Royale. Choose from 12 core characters plus 2 DLC characters. Bring any 2 of 20 partners and build up your power gauge to unleash your awe-inspiring lethal blaze. And Not a Hero PS4 Digital. When an anthropomorphic rabbit/mayoral candidate from the future named Bunny Lord needs a murderous loner to clean up the city during the election, Steve heroically offers up his dubious skills with a gun and lack of self-preservation instinct to this mysterious stranger from beyond. That didn't explain shit about the game whatsoever. Royal Defense PS Vita Digital. The castle needs a hero as hordes of trolls are surrounding it. Build towers, save money, learn spells, and keep the enemy away. Follow the exciting story of the Dwarven Kingdom's eternal struggle against the troll hordes who only want to crush the dwarves and claim their territory. So that is it for the drop for Tuesday, February 2nd, sorry. I find it interesting. It's been a couple of months now where a drop on a Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month, has not contained any games that launch on PlayStation Plus. It seems weird because up throughout 2015 that happened a lot. And I really thought Crypt of the Necrodancer was going to be one of them, but it wasn't. But my 2 recommendations for this month, for this week, and this month, but this week, Crypt of the Necrodancer, Gravity Rush Remastered. That's, I think, go out and get it. You pre-ordered Gravity Rush Remastered off of Amazon.com, where it's available only physically, but that's going to cost you like $50 Canadian, everything said and done. I got the digital version preloaded. I'm ready to play it tomorrow night. But yeah, that I'm really excited for Crypt of the Necrodancer. So your thoughts on any of these games, Sean?
My big 2 games right away are going to be Mega Dementia Neptunia and Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Those games are going to be huge for any JRPG fans. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, is one that I know a lot of people are really excited for. This game is going to be our big chance to kind of support Digimon ever since, like, I don't know, Rumble Blast came over a couple of years ago, and Namco's like, yeah, if you guys support this game, we'll bring out more Digimon game, and like everyone bought it because they wanted to support Digimon, but it was such a bad game. Like, not saying all brawlers are bad, but that Digimon game in particular wasn't that great. Neptunia as well looks really good. Good JRPG game. It's all about those characters and the storyline. Really not much else to it, but the graphics, style, everything else to it seems to have improved quite a lot since the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation Vita days, which is really nice. So I'm really excited for those. Again, I got Gravity Rush physically. It was a last-minute decision to get. Couldn't find it anywhere else until I figured it must have been like a retail exclusive or just in the States, which I've been seeing a lot lately. I've been seeing a lot of like either retail exclusive or States exclusive kind of deal where they get this game or they get that exclusive rights to whatever. But I'm really excited for both Gravity Rush as well. But my 2 big games would be Digimon's Story or Mega Dimension Neptunia. Yeah, I'd say those are my big hits for the drop.
Yeah, all right, cool. Sounds good. Moving on. Let's talk about this very, very, very briefly. And I mean super briefly. Mighty Number 9 has been delayed again. Well, moving on. Next piece of news. Valkyria Chronicles Remastered, which we talked about many times on the show before. And we've said, and even though many people out there have said, oh, it's probably not going to come west, and you and I both said, it's definitely going to fucking come west. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? You're wrong, and we're right, because here it is. Boom. Sega has confirmed that the remastered version of its PlayStation 3 strategy RPG Valkyria Chronicles is coming to Europe and North America on PS4 in spring 2016. The updated version of the game will be released both physically and digitally. If you live in North America, you'll be able to grab a limited number of Squad 7 Armored Editions, which come with a nice-looking case. Steelbook case, in fact. Although I don't know if it's an actual steelbook or if it's like an iron pack. They've got all these different names, but anyway. Valkyria Chronicles on PlayStation 4 runs at 60 frames per second and outputs at 1080p. English and Japanese audio is included, and the game comes with all the PS3 DLC and trophies. Because that's a big thing, because Valkyria Chronicles never had trophies before up till this point. I think a lot of people are going to buy it literally just so that they can finally have trophies for this game. So that's good news. There you go. You guys can see the images around the case. Looks nice. I actually think the standard PS4 box art looks even nicer than the Steelbook case, but that's my personal opinion. Again, as you were saying earlier, I hope that what it is like a Steelbook case that has like a plastic sleeve over top of it. That would be really cool, but we'll see how that goes. You can pre-order that most places. Actually, you can't really pre-order it anywhere yet. It hasn't gone up on Amazon. It hasn't come on EB Games website or Best Buy's website. But apparently, you can pre-order it in store at EB Games, or I assume GameStop in the U.S. So I don't know. They'll get on it eventually. I'm sure it'll be coming. What do you want to add to that?
I don't think anyone knows about the pre-orders right now. I just happened to be at EB Games the other day, and it just so happened to be up on listings for Valkyria Chronicles. I don't know if there was a release date on there yet. Can't really remember, but I immediately put down the $5 deposit on there, or whatever, how much it is, and I just wanted that steelbook. That was my primary reason for getting it. I'm not really too big on buying remastered games like right away, like a day one thing. But that steel case looks really nice. It's got like a lot of tanks and their artillery kind of moving towards, like, you could see them kind of shifting towards, I believe, the left, and they're kind of moving forward. So all of the tanks and artillery are on the front side, and on the back it's like them kind of leaving. But that one looks really cool. It's one of my favorite games for PS3 when I managed to get a hold of it at the time, because I remember it was really hard to get way back when, and it was like super expensive too, because Sega didn't know what they were doing with it, and the franchise kind of flew off the radar. And then they were like, oh my god, we're so sorry guys, don't worry, we're going to fix it. And then Valkyria 3 got announced, or the new one, Azure Valkyria Chronicles, whatever it's called. But that one looks amazing. And then they were like, hey, let's remaster the first game, because that one was great. And then they've kind of just forgotten about the second game. Hopefully they do something with it.
Yeah, I hope that Valkyria Chronicles 2 and 3 get remastered for PS4 as well. Especially since 3 never even came out in the US. But it was a fucking terrible decision to put 2 and 3 on PSP in the first place. I don't know why the fuck they did that. Because really, 2 and 3 should have come out. They would have sold better. They should have come out on PS3, and 2 and 3 would have definitely had trophies. And then they probably would have went back and patched number 1 because they'd have 2 and 3 with trophies. And we live in a much better world, but that's not the way things go. So, but it is coming, so that's cool. I will also be pre-ordering that physical copy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan hits PS4 and PS3 this summer. On the PlayStation blog, of course, it goes on to talk about, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically it's made by Platinum Games. This is like the worst kept secret, because we've known about this for months and months and months. Finally officially revealed after the leak of the screenshots, and then they did a trailer. Game actually looks quite good, in my opinion. Maybe this will be an actual good. We haven't had a really like solidly good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game probably since Turtles in Time. So this and Turtles in Time Reshelled was not good. So I'm excited about that. I think it'll be good. I think as long as it's got 4-player co-op, online, couch, gotta have both. I would prefer online if nothing else, just because I think that's going to be more accessible to people. I think it's confirmed that it does have online co-op. It looks like people are saying that it might be an open world game too, which is interesting for a Turtles game, but it looks good. Of course, the Platinum did well by the Transformers game last year, so that's good signs for things to come. I think it looks pretty good. Now, I have yet to. I assume that it's going to be a full retail game, but they haven't really said that. It could just be because the last few Turtles games come out have just been like digital PSN titles, so or Xbox titles. So I don't know, but I think it looks good. I think the turtle designs look a little weird, but not nearly as bad as like the Michael Bay movie or anything like that. And I think that it's all based off the art style of the current comic series. So I don't know, not much to say. I think it looks good. It's coming out this summer sometime. If the reviews are good, I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that one too. The brawling, the fighting, the mechanics looks really sharp. It's a Platinum game. Hopefully kind of improved on battle mechanics of like Korra, because Legend of Korra wasn't that spectacular in terms of gameplay. Really great game though. Turtles in Time is looking. Really cool boss fights. You kind of saw Rocksteady there for a second when they're in the subway. It looks like they have the voice actors from the cartoons from the newest Ninja Turtles, or is it? Who is it then? New. Who is it? New people? Yeah. Oh, that's exciting. It sort of sounded familiar to the cartoons, but it's really nice that they're bringing on a new cast then. I kind of thought they would pull the Nickelodeon people over, but whatever.
It could possibly be the movie cast, but I don't think it is. But it's definitely not the Nickelodeon cartoon cast. I know because I watched the Nickelodeon cartoon show. I think it's the best iteration of Turtles that's ever existed, and it's definitely not that cast. But it sounds like a good cast anyway. It's pretty hard to. I mean, all the iterations of Turtles have usually pretty much nailed the voices for most of the characters. It's pretty hard to fuck it up. So
Yeah, that's why it kind of sounded a little bit familiar. But this one looks really good. The mechanics look really well done. I think the Turtles' designs look really good. The details look sharp. Platinum does an amazing job with their cell shading or whatever engine that they're using. It's great. Like you said before, Transformers Devastation it was really well done. It was really well made. They got a lot of the older cast in there. They had Peter Cullen, voice of Optimus Prime. He was pretty cool. But it's nice to see Activision actually helping out Platinum Games, bringing out games other than, shelling on Call of Duty every single day. But yeah, that's my...
Don't forget about Skylanders.
I mean, Skylanders every single year. But yeah, you're right. Platinum Games is really well known for like all of their good games. I really liked... Bayonetta was great. There was another good one that I keep forgetting. Vanquish. That was one of my favorite third-person shooter games of that year. It was just so good.
Vanquish might be the best game that they've ever made, honestly. Really? And then, of course, there's they're doing the new Star Fox this year, and they've got that Scalebound, and they're making the new Nier game for PS4. So they got lots on their plate.
I feel like they're gonna have a big team working on Nier. Because Nier's always, or not Nier in general, but like Nier, Drakengard games have always looked like they've been not like AAA titles, but like they're a little bit scaled down in terms of like graphics and frame rate. But all of them have been so good in terms of stories. So I'm really excited for what Platinum's gonna do with Star Fox, Nier, and the new Turtles game now. So moving forward.
Yeah, it's interesting because Platinum, I think, is the only third-party studio that I think it might actually be the only third-party studio that's ever had an exclusive game for all three of the consoles in development at the same time. They've got a Nintendo exclusive in development, they've got a PlayStation exclusive, and they got an Xbox exclusive. And then they keep doing all the third-party that goes everywhere too. So, but Platinum used to be super high pedigree. They're kind of hit and miss these days, but I think they'll do well by the Turtles game. All right, let's move on. This was kind of important news, but also kind of like okay news. This happened earlier this week. This comes to the PlayStation blog by Sean Layden, announcing Sony Interactive Entertainment LLC. Sean Layden, of course, president and CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment America, which now no longer exists. Today, I'm pleased to share an important new moment in PlayStation history that will power the next 20 years of PlayStation innovation. We are announcing the formation of a new company called Sony Interactive Entertainment LLC that will serve as the headquarters for everything PlayStation. This new company, headquartered out of the United States in San Mateo, California, joins the forces of both Sony Computer Entertainment Inc. and Sony Network Entertainment LLC, combining the strengths and talents of both companies. So Sony Computer Entertainment and Sony Network Entertainment now merged into this one Sony Interactive Entertainment. The formation of SIE will create an even stronger PlayStation. That means an even bigger emphasis on developing pioneering platforms like PS4 and PlayStation VR, world-class games from our worldwide studios, development teams, and innovative networks such as PlayStation Vue. It also, I assume, also PlayStation Network. It also means a renewed commitment to making PlayStation the best place to play. Thank you for joining us on this important step in PlayStation history, and as always, we are deeply grateful for your continued support and feedback. We're excited to undertake this next step in PlayStation history with you. Now, I'm going to piggyback this on to the next piece of news as well. Just because they end up with, PlayStation being the best place to play, which I would agree with these days. And, again, that doesn't really mean much of anything. I'm a little surprised that they didn't call it, like, why don't they just call it like Sony PlayStation Interactive? Like, why? Like they never put the PlayStation name in it. It's always Sony Computer Entertainment or Sony Entertainment Network. PlayStation is sort of their brand, so I'm surprised they don't want to put that out in front. But whatever. I mean, I guess like Nintendo doesn't call their systems Nintendo, but they call themselves. I don't know, it's weird. Anyway. But moving into that, and then I'll let you talk about all of it together. So the Sony sold 8.4 million PlayStation 4s during Q3 2015. Sony has revealed yet more impressive PlayStation 4 sales figures, citing 8.4 million consoles sold during the company's third quarter, which makes the total number of units sold this fiscal year a staggering 15.4 million. Of course, we know that they sold almost or over 36 million units the last time we heard. So. That's more sold in 9 months than Sony shifted in the whole of the previous year. So the PS4 sales just continue to grow year over year over year. I personally believe they will easily break 50 million by the end of this year. Last time Sony released, especially considering that they've got all their big exclusives are still coming out. So you've got Uncharted this year, you've got Last Guardian this year, you've got supposedly Horizon Zero Dawn this year, you've got PlayStation VR launching this year. They really are only poised to sell even more from this point on. So they're looking really good. Last time Sony released sales figures, it was revealed that lifetime sales of the console were approaching 36 million units, with 5.7 million consoles sold during the last 6 weeks of 2015. 14.8 million consoles were sold during the fiscal year ending March 2015, which Sony has now exceeded by over 600,000 units. Furthermore, the platform holder is expected to sell 17.5 million PlayStation 4s by the end of Q4, while in comparison, lifetime sales of Xbox One hover somewhere in the region of 19 million. In total, Sony Corp posted revenue of 21.5 billion for the quarter, with the game and network services division earning 4.89 billion in revenue, an increase of 10.5% year on year. Of course, we know PlayStation is one of Sony's biggest profitable divisions. Also, their cameras are doing quite well. It's interesting that they bring up the 19 million units of Xbox Ones, which I'll also work in because Xbox has not given any official numbers in a very long time, in well over a year. But EA recently, I don't remember what was cited, and I think it was taken down, but EA kind of inadvertently said that the PS4 and Xbox One have sold about 55 million units combined. We know that 36 million or more of those belong to PS4, so if you take off that, Xbox sits around 19 million. So that's very interesting because PS4 is almost double up on Xbox One. And that's after the 2015 holiday season, which was really a lot of analysts or a lot of people in the games industry figured, holiday of 2015, when they had all the exclusives, they had Halo 5, they had Tomb Raider, they had Forza, when PlayStation didn't have any exclusives, and they figured that was the time that Xbox would catch up, and if they didn't catch up then, they basically weren't going to this generation, and PlayStation still fucking slaughtered them with no games. So now moving into 2016, PlayStation has all the games. It's a devastating uphill battle for Xbox at this point. It has been really since the start of this generation. Your thoughts on any or all of this?
Not too much. It's kind of you've kind of said everything there is to say about it. But I mean, PlayStation since day one, since they announced the PlayStation, you knew that they were going to outsell the Xbox. PlayStation 4, mind you. Like since day one, they were going to sell out. It was thanks to Microsoft at E3 saying like, hey, we're going to do all this stuff. Hey, too bad if you guys don't agree with it. There's an Xbox 360 for you. Like, oh well. And then PlayStation kind of took that. Sony was like, oh, we're up next. We better, okay. Let's not do what Microsoft's doing. How about that, guys? Everyone cheered. Boom. You just won over millions of people right there, and E3 destroyed Microsoft that whole year. And going forward, people are like, oh, well, I'm going to stick with Microsoft then, or I'm going to stick with PlayStation. People pick their battles. They went with it. That's fine. But in the long shot, PlayStation still got Activision's deal with Call of Duty, so they're getting the map packs 1 month early. They got that big deal with Destiny in the beginning, so a lot of people, believe it or not, actually thought Destiny was going to be a PlayStation 4 exclusive, which it wasn't, which is fine. That kind of helped boost the sales. PlayStation's crazy limited edition consoles, you have the Destiny one, which was the white one. You have the Taken King one, which Destiny again, another white console with some cool finish on it. You have that Darth Vader console. And then on top of that, you had the Black Ops 3 one. So Sony in general is rolling out all these consoles, which is such a great idea. And the cool part about it is that you can switch up those faceplates on the console anytime. You do have to kind of import those ones off of websites or whatever, but that's still a big bonus for lots of people that want to customize their consoles. Going back to on point with sales, though, I think they won day one, no matter what, and they're just going to keep going forward after that.
Yeah, I agree with all that. PS4 is unstoppable at this point, and that's good. That's good. It's good for the industry. It's good for PlayStation fans. It's good for Xbox fans because that has forced Xbox to really, to their credit, they have really turned things around quite a bit. They're still not going to be able to fix all the things and catch up with PlayStation, and they themselves know that. But PlayStation, Sony, it's like the old saying, like rising tide raises all boats. That's not, I fucked that up, but you know what I mean, right? Like, you've heard that before, right? Like, raises all ships, not boats, but whatever. But yeah, no, like, and then the better PlayStation does, the more Microsoft has to work their ass off, and that's better for Xbox fans because they have to do better stuff. Like the backwards compatibility on the Xbox One never would have happened if PlayStation wasn't kicking their ass the way they are. So there you go. There's not too much left. There was lots of news this week, but it wasn't much that you or I really want to talk about. So, there's a couple things left, and also I'm not feeling very well, so this is gonna be a shorter episode than usual. EA Play. So EA opts for its own public EA Play event over E3 2016. So this is interesting news. EA has announced it'll be holding its very own EA Play event ahead of E3 2016 this June in place of its traditionally huge presence on the show floor at the Electronics Entertainment Expo in LA. Instead, EA Play will take place at Club Nokia, at LA Live in Los Angeles, and at the Mermaid in London. Unlike E3, EA Play will be an event open to the public with hands-on game demos, competitions, live streams, and special guest appearances. Our players, quote, our players are the driving force behind everything we do. So this summer, we're opening up our world to you with unique new live events in Los Angeles and London. End quote, says EA on its website. Quote, we'll bring the new games, we'll bring the demos, we'll bring the competition, and you get to go hands-on. Or join us online and immerse yourself to experience some of our biggest games of the year. Let's live to play together, end quote. EA Play will take place from Sunday, June 12th to Tuesday, June 14th in LA, with the London event open one day only on June 12th in London. On the same day, EA will hold its pre-E3 keynote. E3 2016 itself, meanwhile, will run during the week following EA Play, so they're going to start this 2 days before. I think that it might be a smart idea for EA. I think obviously EA knows what it's doing. It's probably looked at the numbers and been like, well, we don't necessarily need to go out and do the E3 stuff. It might be better for them, to have I think they're doing it the way, it's the way like Nintendo looked at E3 after a while. Although I think this year E3 I think Nintendo's going to bring an E3 conference back this year. I think it's going to be a big thing about the NX and all that. But, Nintendo basically said, well, we don't need to spend all this money on E3 and do all these big things. We can get our messages out the way we want with Nintendo Direct. That's been very successful for them. They still do it during E3. So even though they don't have a press conference, you still get that same announcement stuff. I think EA's obviously doing it right before E3 and during the same time. So they'll be the first ones to go. Everybody will be fresh. They'll be sort of like the first bit of news that everybody will be chomping at the bit for. And I don't think it's going to affect them negatively in any way. So, So I think that's interesting. In general, I'm not huge on EA because I don't really care about sports games. I don't really care about necessarily Battlefield and stuff like that. But I am obviously Mass Effect Andromeda is going to be a huge thing this year, so I'll be very interested in that. I hope they have a lot on that. And yeah, that's basically. I think it's cool. I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's nice that they're opening it to the public because E3, of course, is a trade event only. Other than that, you have to go to PAX, really, is the next biggest thing that you can go to actually play games and that kind of stuff. So I hope it works out for EA. I think that's good. I think they know what they're doing, and it'll probably be a precedent for the future moving on. Again, because also you got to think about EA. When you think about E3, you usually think about, PlayStation and Sony and Nintendo. EA and Ubisoft, well, they have big presence. They're kind of like the people that go in between when you're waiting for PlayStation or whatever, right? So that's not really their game anyway. So I think it's a good choice.
Yeah, EA's pretty good. They've been pretty good lately with all their stuff. With the oncoming Mirror's Edge Catalyst and the announcement of Mass Effect Andromeda, that's really cool. Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare 2 on the horizon. I think they've been doing a really good job lately, and with all their talks of like, oh, don't worry guys, like we are going to be more focused on like as a company now, we're not going to be like doing all this crazy stuff, crazy business, like we want to improve, we want to hear your feedback, we want all this stuff, and I really like that from a company. Yeah, their conference like going to be right beside EA or E3 I should say. It's going to be great. It's going to be really good. People are going to be like, okay, well, let's know about the new Battlefield. I want to know, like, what's going to happen with this? What's going to go on with Star Wars? Like, from what we've heard with the expansion passes with Battlefront, it's going to go all the way till the beginning of 2017. So maybe we'll learn a bit more about that. Maybe we'll learn, like, maybe Battlefront 2. Maybe we'll learn about, like, anything from EA going forward, because if they're gonna have something before E3, clearly they have something big planned. They like maybe like what Nintendo has, like with Nintendo Direct. So hopefully something big. I don't know, but having this is a smart plan for them, I believe.
I agree with that. I fully expect Mass Effect Andromeda to be the headline of their thing, because that is bar none the biggest game they have coming up on the horizon. Everybody fucking cares about Mass Effect. So, but Dragon Age isn't coming. It's Mass Effect that's coming. So, as good as a lot of people really think I'm not saying the Dragon Age games are bad. They're fine, but Mass Effect is way more popular than Dragon Age. Yeah. So, and I will say, completely of my own basis and opinion, that Mass Effect is way fucking better than Dragon Age could ever hope to be. But that's just me and most people. So I will. There's 3 pieces left. I'm gonna put 2 together because I've just been marrying these pieces off here today. A couple new game announcements. These are both coming from the PlayStation blog. Introducing Dangerous Golf, launching this May on PS4. Fiona Sperry writes over on the PlayStation blog, "Welcome to the world of Dangerous Golf, a game coming to PS4 this May. For our first title, we wanted to make a wild physics-powered experience that harnesses the gameplay technology and power of PS4. We also wanted to focus on what we do best, which is making fast, fun, and spectacular arcade-style games." These are the same people behind Burnout. Dangerous Golf is just that. It's as serious a true golf game as Burnout was a serious simulation of real driving, so not at all. We wanted to see what would happen if we mixed the attitude of Burnout with the destruction of black whilst powering up a golf ball and setting it on fire. A clear nod to NBA Jam, one of my all-time favorite games. This type of fast gameplay has always been part of our DNA and something we hope you'll enjoy playing. Now, this post goes on a lot more than that, but basically it looks cool. They've only released a few screenshots of it. It basically looks like you're just trying to fucking destroy as much shit as you can with a golf ball in like really fancy environment, and I think that's cool. Also on PlayStation blog, Brian Hastings, Chief Creative Officer from Insomniac Games, writes, Underwater Adventure Song of the Deep coming to PS4 this summer. It's also coming to other consoles as well. I don't believe it is a PlayStation exclusive, but it's coming from the PlayStation blog, so there you go. Okay, I'd like to invite you on a journey. It's a journey of courage and discovery in a haunting, lonely world. As a child, there were a few games that changed my life. I don't want to read all this stuff. I want to talk about the game itself. It's a world where everything is interactive in surprising ways, where every new area has its own secrets and mysteries for you to discover. The story is about love and heartbreak. It's about going on a seemingly impossible journey to try to help someone you love. It's the journey of a girl named Marin in a game we call Song of the Deep. In this game, you'll explore a huge undersea world, both free diving and in a submarine. It's a Metroidvania style of progression where you are constantly getting new abilities and figuring out ways to upgrade them as you take on the seemingly impossible obstacles that stand in your way. It's a challenging journey designed to test your mind and reflexes in equal amounts. Making the game has been a labor of love for our team, and we hope it will be a journey that you too will love and remember. Song of the Deep will launch this summer on PS4. You can check here for updates. Of course, there's a link to their website, Insomniac Games website, and their social media channels. Now, they don't mention it here, but the interesting thing about that, a couple of interesting things. First of all, great to see another Insomniac game outside of course, I love the Ratchet and Clank series. I think you do too, but and I'm excited for the movie and all that. But it's good to see another new IP from them. Of course, the only real big IPs they've done in the last couple of years outside of Ratchet and Clank have been Fuse, which nobody really liked all too much, basically because I think EA published that and really kind of destroyed that game on them. It really wasn't their game anymore at that point. And ever since that, it was originally called Overwatch, I believe. Yeah. So, and ever since then, I think, Insomniac's been very, because they created Ratchet and Clank, but Sony owns it, and then I think EA ended up owning the rights to Fuse, so at that point they're like, well, our games, we want to own them from now on. I believe they do own the rights to Sunset Overdrive on Xbox. Microsoft does not own the rights to that, so they could bring it over to PlayStation if they wanted to, but I think they said they didn't have any plans to. The interesting about this game is that it's a digital game. I love that it's Metroidvania. I think it looks gorgeous. You can go look at the trailer and the arts and all that stuff. It seems really awesome. Underwater is really cool too. Yeah. They're a great developer, so they know what they're doing. But the interesting thing is that it's a digital title, but they are releasing it physically But GameStop, of all places, has the rights, and they are publishing it physically. Now, they don't have the rights to the game. They don't have any say in the game whatsoever. They're just publishing the physical copy of it. But still, interesting to see GameStop get into that in the first place. I don't necessarily know how I feel about that because I think GameStop as a company in general, I think it makes sense because I think they have to diversify, start doing this stuff because as things get more and more digital and everybody can go and sell their games on Craigslist and all this kind of stuff, like GameStop is on its way out, and I think everybody's aware of that and they know that, so they have to start diversifying. That's why they bought ThinkGeek. That's why they're doing all these different things, right, to try and keep them a reason for them to stay open, because just video games and used games alone is not going to cut it in the future for them. So it's interesting. I think the game looks great. I don't know if I'd buy it physically. I might. It depends what the price is. If it's not like, because a lot of physical games that have come out, even despite the fact the game's more expensive in Canada, will be like Mega Man Legacy Collection is a great example. $14.99 in America, digital, $29.99 physical. Here it's $18.99 and then $44.99. Why the fuck is it double the price? In Canada, more than double the price. There's nothing extra in it. All you get is the case and the disc. It doesn't cost that much to make the physical copy of it. So why the fuck is it double the price? So I mean, at that point, then yeah, you're basically forcing, I think, people to go digital. But then again, you did spend almost double the price to get Gravity Rush physical. So yeah, we'll see. What do you think about any of those?
I think Insomniac's a great company. I think they know what they're doing. I think it's going to be an amazing game. I haven't looked too much into it other than that little trailer. But if I wanted to buy a physical version of it, which it'll probably come over here. If GameStop's getting it, EB Games will probably get it. Very good chance. But I don't know if I want to drop like, I don't know, a big amount of money on it. I can see it being like $44 or $54 depending on. That being said though, like who knows? Could be an amazing game, could be not. I don't know. But if it's not a great game, then I'll probably just wait till it's like cheaper as a digital copy before I pick up anything. Going forward, though, I think Insomniac is going to be really good with Ratchet and Clank. I think the movie's going to be great. I can see them making another movie if that happens. But yeah, Fuse. Yeah, that went through a lot of development hell before it did anything. Yeah, nothing really too big. Other than that, EA. There's a little piggyback thing there for you.
Fuse's shortcomings, I think, are way more EA's fault than anybody else's. Fuse wasn't a terrible game. It was just, it was very much like let's try to please as many people as we can, and let's not, kind of steal the essence of what an Insomniac game would be. Every Insomniac game that's come out on PlayStation or Sunset Overdrive have been great. Because Insomniac is given, okay, you just make your game, right? So I don't, and this game, I think this game's going to be the same way. And I think it's going to be great, and I don't have any reason to think otherwise. And even though Fuse was their worst game and wasn't a great game, I don't think it was a terrible game either. So the ending was terrible. God, I don't know if you played through it, but I hate that fucking ending. But anyway. So yeah, good stuff. I'm excited for that. Now, one last piece of news that we're going to end with here. And so this is the benefit to the fact that we're recording this episode so late this week, is that this news only came out today on Sunday, which is about Final Fantasy 15, which of course is a title that we're both excited for. So, over at Destructoid, Kyle McGregor writes, in case you're chomping at the bit to find out when you're going to find out when Final Fantasy 15 is coming out, well then chomp no further. Square Enix is hosting an event on March 30th, my birthday, by the way, my 30th birthday, on March 30th, for the 30th anniversary of Final... I don't know if that's true, I'm just... it's getting close though. In Los Angeles, where the publisher plans to announce a release date and many more things, apparently. So on March 30th, on my birthday, we will find out when the game will come out. Square Enix, they got these weird sort of release structures. Like, yeah. Well, no, I believe that they will bring it out this year.
They will.
It's
not when they want.
But we don't know when they want. But I believe that this March 30th date, whatever date they say that's when it's going to come out, I believe it will come out on that date. And I believe it will be before the fall. I think it'll be. Oh, maybe we could do a prediction thing and make a little bet again. I believe it'll be August. I think it's gonna be an August release. But we'll see. The cool thing about it too is that it's again going to be live in LA. It's hosted by Kind of Funnies, Greg Miller, you might know from IGN, and Tim Geddes, who I am a fan of. So I think that's pretty cool. It's my birthday. I might fly out to LA. I was thinking about maybe going to LA for my birthday. So there are tickets to this event that's free. I've been to a Final Fantasy event I went to the one in PAX Prime 2012. That's where I got that Final Fantasy poster up there. And that was when they announced the release of, or the reveal of Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13, which is my favorite title of the Final Fantasy 13 titles. I actually platinumed it. But anyway, yeah, no. So that's cool. Whether you're going to be there or not, they'll be live streaming it. I think it's cool. I'm excited. I think it will come this year, and I'm excited for it. I played the Duskay demo because I got the Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, and I think the game looks great. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it could be a return to like a really great Final Fantasy game. I don't have really any reason to believe otherwise. I think the active battle is great. I think it's a good direction for the game. It basically plays like a really modern, kick-ass like Kingdom Hearts, and yeah, I really see nothing. I really see no way that this game can be any less than like a really good game, and I totally think it could be a phenomenal game. So it's been in development for nearly a fucking decade, so it damn well better be. But yeah, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like you were just saying, it's been in like development for a decade. It's been announced since Final Fantasy 13 was announced. So think back to like all the way 2006 when PlayStation 3 was going to be announced, back when Final Fantasy 7 was being announced as well, with that little short preview thing with the train. Like all of that was announced, like the Final Fantasy Agito or Agito and the Nova Crystallis, all of that stuff was happening, and then they were going to pair up Final Fantasy 15 at the time with Final Fantasy 13 with its whole pairing thing.
Well, it was never called Final Fantasy 15 until PS4 came out. It was called Final Fantasy Versus 13. But okay.
But I mean, that's fine. Anyway, yeah, back when the whole Agito, which turned out to be Final Fantasy Type 0, and then there's Versus 13, which turned out to be 15. This game's going to be amazing. I remember, what was it, maybe 2009, they showed like some preview of Final Fantasy Versus 13 of Noctis running through the castle hallways, and I was like, holy crap, this game looks crazy good. Like, I wonder what it's going to be like. And IGN had their little posts like, oh, it's going to play like Kingdom Hearts, so it's going to be like this, be like that, and then it just disappeared. Like, previews, everything kind of disappeared off the internet for years, up until like 2013 when you kind of heard stirs and rumors. 2014 rolls around and they're like, well, it's going to be Final Fantasy 15 or something like that now, and then we're doing Final Fantasy Type 0 remake. Everyone wanted that, right? Except it's not going to be on portable. It's going to actually be on consoles. Yay. And then there was kind of an uproar about that. But
yeah, and it's going to be a full $60 title.
Yeah, and if you want to get the collector's edition, it's going to be $150, only available to our Square Enix store. Yay, we're doing that now. But with Final Fantasy 15 on, I don't know, it's going to be out this year, definitely. That's what they said. I can see it coming out. Watch them be like, by the way, guys, it's out today. Either being out in either April, I want to say April or July. It'll be out between then.
So you think the release is imminent then, like, and you think it's going to come sooner than August? But you agree with me that it's not going to be a fall 2016 title. I think the fall 2016 is already way too full. You can't put it in there. You got Persona 5 is going to fill out that JRPG slot anyway. At this point, Persona 5 might even be more prolific than Final Fantasy, possibly, because Persona 4 just fucking blew up. No, I agree with you. You've got Mass Effect and you've got, all these big Square games and everything. So yeah, I hope it comes out. That'd be cool if it came out March 30th. If it came out on my fucking birthday, that'd be great. But then I don't know if they do that, because that would kind of kill all their momentum to like get all the pre-order sales and get. Although I guess a lot. I mean, I've I've had Final Fantasy 15 pre-ordered for 2 years. So, yeah, we'll see. By the way, Final Fantasy 15 revealed in 2013. It was revealed E3 2013 before the PS4 came out. And I fucking called it, and nobody believed me back then. I don't have any proof of this, except maybe on my Twitter if you dig way the fuck in there. But I fucking called it that, I called that Kingdom Hearts 3 was going to be announced that during that E3, and B, I called that Final Fantasy Versus 13 was going to be worked into Final Fantasy 15 and released for PlayStation 4. Of course, I did not call it coming out on Xbox One, but whatever. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, I think that game's done. I think it's probably finished. They're probably just like polishing it up now at this point. So yeah, so it'll be good. I'm excited to play it. I think it's gonna be a really good game. Yeah. I personally, as much as I'm excited for the Final Fantasy VII remake, I'm personally way more excited for Final Fantasy 15 because I want to play a fucking new game. Yeah. I don't want to play. I know the story of Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII is great, and I got the PC port on PS4 now, and that's great too. But like, I know that story. I know that game. I don't know shit about Final Fantasy 15. I want a new Final Fantasy to love, to fall in love with. So yeah, it's good. So that's it for the news. We are almost done here. But before we go, of course, we're going to continue building out our top 50 lists. Last week, I added Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and you added, I don't remember.
I believe it was Crash Bandicoot 2.
That's right, which sparked our whole Uncharted debate. But yes, okay. So you went first last week, so this week I will go first. And I haven't put any thought into this. Let's go with you know what? Let's throw Persona 4 Gordon in there. No. Were you? Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I could give it to you now, but then that would be cheating because then we wouldn't really get two proper titles. So, Persona 4 Golden, of course, is the definitive version of Persona 4. You can play it on PlayStation Vita. You can play it on PlayStation TV. You should just really go out and get that game. It goes on sale all the time for under $10. It's a fucking steal of a deal. It's a steal of a deal at $40, really. I own the physical copy of it, which I'm happy about. Go out, buy that game, fucking play that game. It's absolutely amazing. There really don't need to say much more than that. Everybody out there already knows Persona 4 is great. If they haven't played it yet, fucking play it. Get ready for Persona 5, which won't have anything to do with Persona 4. But Persona 4 did have the Persona games don't have anything really to do with each other, but they do always kind of reference each other a bit. There's a scene in Persona 4, spoilers, where you go back to where Persona 3 takes place, and you go into the like little disco cafe and all that kind of shit. So I'm pretty sure that there may be some reference to Persona 4 and Persona 5, or more than anything, there might be some reference to Catherine in Persona 5. But there will be some kind of reference out there anyway. But I'm really excited for Persona 5. Again, we've said this really in every episode, but 2016 is going to be one of the greatest games, one of the greatest years for games. So much good shit. Starting with Crypt of the Necrodancer. Anyway.
My pick after a short, deep thought, I want to say Golden Sun for the Game Boy Advance. That was one of my favorite Game Boy Advance games growing up. Huge adventure. You got 4 main characters in the first game, and you got another 4 main characters in the second game afterwards that follow the exact same story, continuing on from the first game. But Golden Sun, you can totally load your save into the second one, which is really cool. But I would say Golden Sun 1 right now. Start with that one. That one's my favorite one. Maybe my favorite one. I'm kind of going back and playing that one. So that one's really good. Adventure game. Got tons of RPG elements. The art style's amazing. Made by Camelot. They're super good. They've made some other memorable titles that I can't remember right now.
Shining fucking Force.
Shining Force. That's actually that was their inspiration to make that 2D, 3D battle plane. I remember reading about that now. But yeah, and you can also catch Djinns, I believe they're called. Djinns, little, I like to call them little lizards because they look like fat sitting down lizards. But they jump around. You can learn more magic and like different abilities like push and unlock and grow and really cool stuff. And it was one of my favorite games just growing up as a kid and just going on this huge adventure story, learning about like your village and just like it was a blast, and I would say like Golden Sun is definitely up there, and you can find it anywhere on the internet. I believe Golden Sun is also on the Wii U eShop now. Yeah, and you can pick that up pretty cheap. So that would be my recommendation.
I actually have Golden Sun on the Wii U eShop and or on the Wii U off of the eShop, and that will be a game at some point on Retro Night that I will be playing on twitch.tv/WillJWood. As well as Gravity Rush tomorrow night. Yeah, that's about it. Shining Force really is, if you've never played it, I really think it is the greatest tactical turn-based RPG series out there. Better than Fire Emblem, better than Final Fantasy Tactics. So, in my opinion, fucking love it. But very few people know anything about it. You really should go. Yeah, it is. You really should go check it out. It'll probably make its. I guarantee it'll make its way into my top 50 at some point. But I'm not going to tell you which one of the 3 because there's actually 5 that really count. One was not Game Boy Advance. One was on there was a remake on Game Boy Advance, but one was on Game Gear, and then Sega CD, a remake of that. And then there's the very, very rare Shining Force 3 on Sega Saturn, and then Shining Force 1 and 2 on Genesis. But I'll do that in the future. Anyway, that has been episode 4 of Level 38, a video game podcast. I want to thank Sean McCann for joining me again this week. You can follow him on Twitter at SmashSpite. You can follow the podcast at Level 38 Podcast. If you have any questions or concerns or comments or topics or anything you want us to talk about, tweet us there. You can also send us an email, level38podcast@gmail.com, and we will get your stuff there. That's the best way to do it. That's it. This episodes go up every Monday-ish. I'm going to try my best to get this one up on Monday. It might be a day late because I am just under the weather, but we'll see how things go. It's up on YouTube. You can go to YouTube, find it there, find the video format. You can find the audio format on iTunes and Podomatic. And yeah, that's about it. My name is Will Woods. You can follow me on Twitter at WillJWood, and that's it. We're done. All right. See you next week. Right. Bye.
Bye.